You just got drafted. Austin said we're skipping phase one.
Skipping it.
We're into OTAs. What happens?
Phase one, okay, just tell them what the people, they put shorts and a t-shirt on and you go out and throw the ball around. And the coaches stand there like it's really serious.
You meet for 2 hours.
It's the worst.
You lift and run for 2 hours. You eat lunch. And then if you want to be good, you go meet some more.
Yeah.
That's phase one.
They used to have like QB school where guys would like sit there and actually learn the playbook and try to digest the West Coast
coverage.
offense. Yeah. Hey, check this out.
Oh, man, yes.
They just skip that now.
They would bring in a secondary coach to talk to you about quarters.
Yes.
And you would learn football.
Right.
Nah, let's just throw a bubble.
I even went through that when I was like a 8-year vet when I showed up at the Giants.
Yeah.
Me and Eli went into a room with Steve Spagnuolo. Yeah. And he broke down defenses and how he would attack our offense and how he's going to attack it. I'm like,
I love Spags.
He was so great. I almost wanted to be a defensive player after those meetings.
I love Spags.
I was like, Spags, what position would I play? He's like, you just wouldn't. I'm like, I know.
So amazing.
He's great.
Oh.
But you would learn the game. Yeah. That's what that was. Now it's, with the CBA, with the different things, like you can't
2 hours of meeting time, then you get a 15-minute break and you go 2 hours of lift and run.
Yep.
Which your throwing has to be in that 2 hours. And if it's not, if you're at an organization that doesn't think that that's important, you go lift and run for 2 hours and you have to go off site to throw passes to your receivers. Why would you want to take, now I don't know, I'm just being an example. Yeah. I doubt Minnesota does this.
Right.
But you're going to take Justin Jefferson to the local high school.
That's where they go.
With the choppy grass.
Yes.
And say, go run all the routes.
Like and I'm not saying Minnesota does that.
They do not do that.
But that happens.
I know KO would not do that.
But that happens at places. So if you guys are excited about your Dynasty Fantasy Draft, that you got, guys, just know they're running routes in a park somewhere.
You hope that their organization during phase one lets them throw at the facility.
At the facility. Not me breaking into some facilities so I could throw after the coaches had left. That happens too. I've climbed chain link fence.
I'm not going to tell you where.
Hey,
but
it's crazy.
There was a time we had to go to different fields. And let me tell you, sometimes they're like, we can't let you right now. There's a lacrosse game going on. I was like,
think about that.
Guess we're going to have to throw in the parking lot today. Before even phase one, let's talk jersey number. If you're the first pick in the draft, you're going to get the jersey number that you want.
Even if someone has it. No one had it at the time. But I wanted 8. And
they didn't even have players.
We didn't have players, so I could add 58 if I wanted it. They could have gave me whatever they wanted. So I picked it.
If you're a second-round pick, and you're a quarterback, you get a little leeway as a quarterback. They're like, "What do you want to wear?" They're like, "We got you in this." I was like, "Yeah, I'll take 4." And if
honestly, that was the most stressed I was for him. Honestly, when he got drafted to the Raiders, I was like, "Okay, are they going to let him take 4?"
Oh, yeah, they did. They were amazing. Shout out to the Raiders equipment. Y'all were awesome.
Thanks. Awesome.
OTAs. What happens? You show up, all right, and you meet. Again, meetings? Yes. Everyone sees us running around in our basketball shorts and throwing passes and doing all these things. And you show up and you meet and you learn the system. So phase one shows up and you learn the system. Then you get into OTAs and you start back over. Day one, install again. So you're talking inside zone, drag and lion, which is slant, drag, double slant, or D-slant. Never mind, I'm going to get into too many systems. Too many offenses in my head, but you learn it, okay? You learn the system, and you go out and you run simple plays versus simple coverages. It's just to get moving again, compete at a high level. So it's high competition, and I would say it ramps up as mini camp, training camp, preseason, regular season, playoffs. Like it just goes up like this. I don't know what the Super Bowl feels like. He would. But I'll tell you this, OTAs, you're learning, you're doing those things. And so as a quarterback, even if you start at 8 a.m., you're in there at 6 a.m. because you're learning ahead. You're getting ahead of what's happening that day, and then you go hit the field running.
What I'll tell you about the young guys is that I found this was really funny to me because when you're young, all the details, the coaches are on your head about the details. Yep. But as you progress and get older, you can slip up with some of the details in the drills, and the coaches will just gloss over it. Isn't that true?
I'm not kidding.
It's crazy.
But they'll coach the heck out of the rookie.
Just on the rookie's head in quarterback drills. You're going through the bags, you're old, you're tripping through the bags, you're kicking the bags, you throw it sidearm, and you throw it to one of your boys, and then you just kind of jog over, and then you turn around, and this undrafted free agent is going through the bags, and he's killing it. But he steps, his little toe touches the white line, and they lose it on him.
They love to coach that.
It's okay, guys. I'm going to tell you, young guys, it's going to be all right. Eventually, you'll be able to do the same thing. I'm watching Eli go through the bags. I'm like, this guy hasn't done one drill right. but then they don't care. So
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got to do it right for a little while,
That's
and then
so
eventually
good.
they'll let you
That's
out.
so good and so true.
I'm
Because
telling
you
you.
got to think about this. They've been sitting in draft meetings, free agent meetings. These
They
coaches,
just want to be on the
They just want
field.
to coach somebody. And you get a guy, you get some veterans, right? Once you become a veteran, you've been hit way too many times. You're a little grouchy because you're learning drag slant again.
Yeah.
And so you're like, you're doing
We
your
just did
best.
this 7 days ago.
I'm like,
Yep.
guys.
Reinstall. And you know the advanced level, like you know what it's going to get
Oh,
to. You won't ever
man.
even call that play during the regular
won't
season.
even call this play,
It's going to
but
be in
we're running
9
it.
different formations.
All those things are going through vets' heads. So they give you some, all right, just go out there, go 98% at practice, and
they're
we're
happy
not
you're
even
here.
going to talk to you,
Yeah.
all right? But you young bucks,
Man, it's on for you.
oh, you're about to get coached.
Yeah, wait, we just work through that. If you can get through that mentally and know they don't hate you, you're going to be all right.
That's right. Okay, so at Fresno State, our college practices were super competitive.
Yeah, intense.
Like intense.
Yeah.
Okay, and the NFL game, like everyone has a rookie mini camp. I wouldn't even say that's even close to like a college practice.
It's not.
In my opinion,
it's such a learning experience.
it's just a learning experience.
Yeah,
Everyone's playing so slow because there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
College, you knew your system, you knew your buddies, you're playing fast, all those kind of things. But when you get to OTAs, okay, and this is like, if we're talking about percentages of intensity, this is at the floor.
Like, yeah,
for the
2%.
NFL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
really
way
is
faster than NFL or college practice.
Yeah.
I believe. Maybe I just play against some fast people, but it is way faster.
And the other thing is, I'll see like on social media a lot, I'll see people critiquing what's happening at the OTAs.
We're trying
That's like trying to critique a shoot around at the NBA Finals.
That's exactly
Like that's
right.
exactly what you're. So if you're critiquing what you see on the field in OTAs, just know you're an absolute psychopath, and we know that is literally a walkthrough compared to, as Derek was saying, the speed of this thing. Like I remember like ramping up and then stepping on into training camp, which is another speed jump.
Oh yeah.
You jump into training
Now you're
camp
fighting for
against the
leader
first
life.
defense. You got Aaron Glenn, Jamie Sharper, and these veteran guys out there. And now I'm like, oh, there are different levels to this.
Yes.
And that's how it continues to ramp up, and like you said, even through the regular season playoffs and whatnot. But
Yes.
yeah, just know if you're critiquing OTAs, you're upset about a guy missing a throw or what, bro, you're literally critiquing a shoot around.
Yes.
So just chill.
Yes, like I saw everyone getting mad that their quarterback threw a couple picks in the first
Yes.
OTA. I'm like, guys,
Trust me.
trust me. One of two things is happening. One, he's learning a system, or two, he's just trying to see what window he can fit it in.
Yeah, especially if it's a veteron guy.
like,
dude, don't trip.
I threw a no-look pass. I tried to at least every day.
You have to try.
Just because, and we get into this no-look thing, it happens way more than you think.
Yeah.
You look someone off and you make a throw. Or
definitely happens.
You're trying to manipulate
You have to do that. You
figure
have
out
to
what
move
you're doing.
guys.
So if we're critiquing OTAs, we all got big problems.
That's right.
Downtime OTAs. So for us, it was like we had, ping pong, or you have a basketball hoop and we're playing horse, or we're playing whatever. And so you're just hanging out, and really that it happens in the locker room, and I would say more in the meal room too. You go in there, you get your lift after practice or whatever, but really in the meal room, you're hanging out, you're laughing, you're telling stories. You got all the young guys are already on their iPad. They didn't have iPads yet. They're already on their iPads, so stressed, coming up to me, hey, did I do this right? Was this right? I'm like, bro,
Because remember, the
you're good.
coaches
I
are
promise.
on their heads. They can't do.
Yes.
You can get away with no-look passes as a veteran. You can do. I mean, and they're like, oh, that was brilliant. Did you see what Derek did? And they'll use you as like, teach. And you're like, bro, I'm just trying stuff out here. I don't know. It's like Pete Maravich behind the back between his legs. Like, that's just fun for me. So yeah, don't stress out about that stuff. Just learn it, right?
Yes.
Engulf in the culture, like Derek was saying, hang out at the meals. Don't just bounce.
No, don't
That's the one
bounce.
thing I remember when I would fly out, especially later on. My boys are sitting right here. As I would leave my family to go to New York for OTAs, but like just be around the guys. That was my favorite part. Is like after the OTAs are over and you're in the meal room, you're hanging out, then you go play golf with them or do whatever.
Yep.
But that's the glue that makes this thing go together.
That's right. Conditioning. Ooh, it depends what team you play
It
for.
depends
So,
what team you
I'll
play.
say
That's
this.
such a good point.
In the Patriot way, there is a thing called conditioning.
Yeah.
After every practice. Okay.
If you played for Mike Singletary for a year in San Francisco, that man's a psychopath. So he had a massively long conditioning test that we had to do in OTAs. So
And
it just depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
Like, for different coaches, our conditioning was the way we practiced. Now he is like, look, we're not going to condition after practice. But like Gruden would say, we're not going to run. But if I don't think practice is fast enough, if you're not sprinting from drill to drill, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And so I think that brought the intensity of practice up a lot. And the fact that we probably ran 2 more miles of speed just because we didn't want to run a couple gassers after practice.
That's a great way to approach it, too. I think that, then like you said, based on teams, we were with a veteran team with the Giants, and I don't remember us ever having a conditioning period after a practice. Yeah. But guys would always run as in position groups. So, like, quarterbacks would get together, we'll run gassers, defensive line, offensive line. They all collectively would do that. And it was almost like a peer pressure thing, because if me and Eli are running and we're 8-10-year vets, then the other young guys are going to get in and they run with us. So it was kind of like a team, I guess a player-led thing more than just a team thing. But it is different. I've had other teams where they line up and they didn't either like how the practice tempo went, or they just... That's the other thing, too. I think there's some brilliance to what Gruden was talking about, because if you get on the line and you got to run and you know you're going to run, maybe practice won't be as fast. Yeah. But if you practice fast and then, look, I mean, we're a results-based business here in the NFL. So if you practice hard and you do things right, you don't run as much afterwards.
I would say it just depends on your team.
It does depend on your team.
If you have an older
veteran
team,
guys,
like if you have an older team and you run a lot after practice, it's just science. Their legs are not going to feel great 3 days later.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're going to ask them to go hard again with pads and all that. And so, again, there's people way smarter than us that figure that stuff out. We just show up and give our best. But I've had it both ways. So conditioning, yes. Conditioning, no. OTAs is a great time to do it anyway.
And for the most part, it's professional football. That's what you have to realize. Yeah. And guys, especially with the Giants, I'll use that example again, but those guys knew that they had to be in shape. Yeah. That's just, at the end of the day, we have to be in shape to win and play good football and not get cut. Yeah. So we're going to run, right? So it's not like the coach has to make us do this stuff. Yeah. It's where you start to become a professional and take ownership yourself. I ran either during or after every practice. If we weren't up, I'm running. Yeah. If we were, done, me and Foster, after every practice, we're running gas. We're racing each other. We're doing something. You just know it's important. But it's infectious. Yeah. And Rich Bisaccia always told us. He told everybody this. He said, your conditioning level will determine your greatness. And if you can run forever, you can play forever. If you can run as fast as you can in the first quarter as you can in the fourth quarter overtime, you're going to make that play at the end. And so, again, like he said, you're a professional. You should already be in the best shape of your life. Find a veteran guy that plays your position or is on your side of the ball and just kind of mimic what he does. A guy that has been there like 8-10 years, that has done things the right way, that everyone kind of sees as a leader of the team. And if he'll talk to you, sometimes they won't talk to you, right? But if they'll spend time with you, most of those guys, those veteran guys, they'll definitely take time to help you out as a young guy. And just follow them. Follow them. What do they do after they get off the practice field? Oh, they go recover. How do they recover? Okay, I'm going to do that. And if I'm not already doing that, then I'm going to start doing that, because if you want to play for 8 or 10 years, this is how you do it. And I think that's probably the most important thing I would tell you is, and don't get bogged down. Don't get so hard on yourself, because that's the other thing is, like, you're a young guy. You are going to be spinning, bro, especially as a quarterback. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up, man. Like, and don't worry about the people that are on social media critiquing your interceptions in OTAs. Just keep pushing forward. Peyton Manning led the league in interceptions his rookie year. Remember, Jamar Chase couldn't catch a football. He could not catch, right? Jerry Rice could not catch. What did he do? He did fine. So I think that's just keep going. Keep getting better every day. Don't get so hard on yourself. Don't get down. This is football. It's a game. It is your livelihood, but it also is something you got to enjoy, right? Enjoy, and you'll work harder. So I would say that. I think he hit it on the head. I think you got to enjoy it. And I would say for me, I saw Charles Woodson, and I said, I'm just going to copy everything he does. See? And Charles, I was lucky enough that Charles would actually talk to me. He was great with everybody. You just don't know with some veterans. Yeah. Especially in the older school. Sure. Some veterans, especially when you played, when I was starting to come in, you still had those veterans that were like, dude, you're not taking my job. I'm doing my thing, you know. But I had some great veterans, Justin Tuck. But I was going to say, there's going to be 1 or 2 on the team that are going to be open and want to teach those young guys. Absolutely. Because it happened to them. Someone did that for them. You look at New Orleans, you look at DeMario, Cam, Tyron, Eric McCoy, like, these are guys that will answer any question for a young guy. I love that. They will do anything for them. And so Max Crosby's in Vegas, like, you got guys on your team, I guarantee it, you young guys, that if you ask them, they're going to answer questions. My favorite thing, I can think of a couple people. I can think of Tipton in New Orleans. I think of Marcel Aitman in Oakland. They would ask me things. They would say, hey, what do I need to do? I love that. My thing was like, I'm just trying to ease the burden in their heart and see the best for them. And so just watching that happen, having them get their first catch or their first big play, or, you see that was the cool thing as a veteran, helping the young guys. It was great. For example, Aaron Glenn in Houston with Aaron as he was playing corner, and I would ask him, like, they'd make plays on the ball. I'm like, what are you really looking at? What are you watching for a quarterback? And he was the one that really was the first one to tell me about, with the hand separation on pump fakes. Yep. And obviously all the coaches talk about it now. You don't do a full-on pump fake like this wild thing. Oh. You just the hand separation. That's what he was watching. So I was like, but that helped our double moves. And we were a young team. We didn't know a lot. Everyone on the offensive side was all rookies. We didn't know. So we would dig in, and Aaron was great. So, but there, like you said, there's going to be a guy on every team that will definitely do that for the young guys. So find them and seek them out.